Other bulletins starting tomorrow. But away from that, the statistics of teenage pregnancies shocked the whole country when they were released. The severity of this problem is hidden in the numbers, and the victims largely remain part of the statistics. They have no one to speak for them, but what many people missed is that poverty was and still is the major cause of teenage pregnancies in the country. Our reporter Fred Kagonye spoke to teenage mothers in some of Nairobi's informal settlements and has prepared this special report for us. Here now is COVID teen moms, starting now.
The coronavirus pandemic has exposed the stubborn problem that is teenage pregnancies, often hidden in statistics. But beyond these statistics that at times we don't understand fully or pay enough attention to, are children made parents at a tender age. We started our journey at Mukuru Kwajenga slums in Nairobi. We meet a 17-year-old who we shall call Cecilia, holding her 2-week-old baby girl in one of Nairobi's shanties. The Form 3 student was impregnated by her boyfriend, also aged 17. But hers wasn't a case of children having fun. It was deeper than that, she tells us.
Naishi na single mom. Haizi ni provide kila kitu ninataka. Nikiwa in need of anything, kama mama haizi. I'm just running kwa boyfriend.
What was it like for her when she realized that she was going to be a mother in a few months?
Nilikuwa tunafikiria kujiua. What next? What about my studies? Vile kutakuwa, vile mama ataongea. Nilikuwa too confused.
Even though she is ready to resume school, she believes if the closure of schools wouldn't have happened, then circumstances would have been different for her.
Kama ningekuwa shule, sidhani kama ningepata bora. Because ningekuwa na focus na masomo, singekuwa na time ya kuenda huku na kule, kutafutana na boyfriend hapana, singekuwa nayo.
Despite the initial challenges, the young mother wants to become an engineer when she clears school.
Na plan tu kurudi shule kusoma. Story ya relationship niache. Ni focus tu na masomo na mtoi wangu peke yake.
A few meters from Cecilia is Fredina Mutesia's home. Fredina takes life a day at a time, like many others here. She, however, fears that her 13-year-old daughter who is pregnant may take her own life after she tried to do so twice.
Alikuja akaniambia naweza kunywa sumu. Nikamuuliza kwa nini. Akawa anatafuta kachupa saisi aweke ile ndawa. Kutoka nje kurudi alikunywa tu hapa. Kana namuona.
In a system that criminalizes suicide, her daughter was locked in a police cell for 3 days.
Mwishowe wakamtoa. Sasa wakaniambia atakuja huku mahali niko niongee naye. Kukuja mimi unajua sasa sikumuuliza directly. Akawa tu ananyamaza. Nilia tu kuchati na simu anafikiria. Mbia watu wenye wanakufanga wanafanyanga aje.
Fredina says her daughter at some point wanted to abort the baby and resume school.
Unajua sasa nitamkumbali aje. Unajua ni riski. Aliniambia mimba iko na miezi 3. Venye aliambia daktari aliniambia na mimi sikumuuliza. Lakini yeye mwenyewe aliniambia, baadaye aliniambia. Venye nilinyamaza nikawa sina raha kwa sababu ninaumika kwa moyo kama mzazi. Na ninaona yeye mwenyewe anaona venye ile mapito anapitia na niko peke yangu na nang'ana tu wasome na wakule.
Eric Ambuche, a social worker, says what girls lack are the basic needs of a woman.
Our wasichana wanga mostly sabuni, hizi pads, hizi menstrual hygiene pads. Na chakula pia kuna wale wanataka scholarship.
A few kilometers away is another informal settlement, Dandora. Famed as the cradle of hip-hop in Kenya, it shares the same challenges and troubles as Mukuru. These two girls, apart from being residents of Dandora, are also good friends. They are both pregnant at the age of 16 and come from poor backgrounds. We will call them Maria and Jane for now. After clearing class 8, Maria did not join high school. She doesn't have someone to pay her school fees. She lost her mother and has never met her father. And so when she found out that she was pregnant, only one thing came to mind: abortion.
Nifikiria tu kuitoa Jusa nilikuwa naona huyu mwanaume anafanya kazi kwa vijana. Hadi ataniweka maisha mzuri.
Maria wanted to get pregnant when she reaches the age of 25, but poverty has left her pregnant 9 years earlier. The man who got her pregnant was 22.
Mimi niliona tu nilikuwa na uchali, juu anaweza atanipeanga pesa. Juu hakuna mahali pengine nilikuwa napata pesa. Sasa nilikuwa naenda kwa kijana. Unajua saa zingine hadi sina pad, hakuna chakula. Sasa nikienda huko, unajua huyo mwanaume sasa ni brother yangu, atanipea hivyo pesa. Ananiambia saa zingine anakwambia ulale huko ndo akupe do. Sasa inabidi tu ulale.
The father of her child was not what he made her believe. He was killed during a robbery gone wrong in Zimmerman, and the man had lied to her that he used to work under the Kazi kwa Vijana program.
Nilijua tu ni mwizi. Juu aizi uliwa tu hivi. Kwanza niliambiwa ameshutiwa. Nikajua tu alikuwa mwizi. Na ati huyo mwenye aliniambia alipatikana na simu na vifungu mingi. Nikajua tu alikuwa mwizi ama basi alikuwa anafanya kazi ya vijana. Alafu akitoka nenda naiba. Juu hadi kitu ilifanya nisimshuku, alikuwa na kamna apron na gambut na hiyo slasher. Sasa mimi nikajonga tu ni ukweli, lakini vile niliuliza mabeste zake wakaniambia kwa anafanya hiyo kazi. Sasa ni kama kuko nataka nijue yeye ni mwizi juu labda leo ndamwacha.
Underage and pregnant, Maria was saddled with the responsibility of taking care of her 2 nieces, which left her with no option but to hit the streets of Nairobi to work as a sex worker. As an underage working in these streets, Maria says she can never do it sober. But the things that she takes to hide reality for a moment may be causing harm to her unborn child.
Lazima utumie drugs juu hizi ndio ukiwa sober. Sasa mimi nakunywa tu pombe. Hadi nikitoka hapa kasi na pesa, nikienda tu na mtu wa kwanza akinipea do, lazima niende nibai pombe, hivyo na nibai bangi.
Just like her friend Maria, Jane often uses drugs to escape from reality. And when she found out that she was pregnant, she too wanted to abort. Only this radio set and books are her solace as her due date inches closer.
Mimi niko na tu tumbo inakuwa kubwa. Sasa kwenda usiku kupimwa kapata ni ball. Nikataka kutoa. Na tena daktari alikuanga huko aliniambia naweza shikwa. Akaniambia clinic ni free, nianzange clinic, nichukue linda mama, nianze tu kuenda ni free, hata kuzaa nitasaidika nizae.
Jane blames her pregnancy on bad company, and she wanted to take her life to escape the responsibility that lay ahead after getting out of an abusive relationship.
Na hiyo time Mungu angana ex wangu fulani alinivunjanga mkono. Sasa kunivunja nikajipatanga hii ghetto na ikukuwa rahisi hadi saa hii mali nimefika.
Jane continues to do menial jobs to keep her going as she readies herself for the baby.
Naendanga squad, unapewa squad, na ndio upate pia squad. Kufua, kufanya watu kazi, ndio upate do.
Every time life hits her hard, Jane thinks of procuring an abortion.
Kuna time nakanga hivi hadi nafikiria kutoa, nasema hapana. Nitaenda huko nje, hata nivute bangi, inidanganya akili kidogo, akili yangu itoke tu hapo juu yenyewe, nikakaa chini. Mimi kwanza kuna time nikisota, nasikianga tu kutoa hii mimba.
Jane believes had she not dropped out of school, none of this would have happened to her, but she still hopes to join high school after she delivers. Agnes Adhiambo, a researcher with the Human Rights Watch, says poverty is one of the main causes of teenage pregnancies in Kenya and that children are safer in school uniform.
They are viewed as children in need of care and protection. You know, they say, "Huyu ni mtoto wa shule." But then when girls are at home, people start viewing them in a different light, like they are women.
Agnes says there should be a change in the way teenage mothers are enrolled back to school by training teachers to lead the way and avoid stigmatization.
We have a school health policy that speaks about some of these issues we are talking about, sexuality education, human rights, gender awareness, and all that. And we have a policy that protects the rights of, say, pregnant girls to go back to school. Now the problem is implementation of these policies.
Media personality Janet Mbogwa, who runs the Inua Dada Foundation that gives sanitary towels to the less fortunate in the society, says, "We do not care enough about menstrual health."
We don't prioritize it. We put it under reproductive health, but periods themselves are very disruptive. If a woman or a girl can't afford these products, how do you expect her to go to class? How do you expect her to go to work? So a lot of the times they're linked to bigger issues like pregnancy, crime, poverty. So the first thing is we haven't really prioritized the issues that women and girls are going through. If we did, we would understand one of the major issues is period poverty. So most people will forego pads in favor of food. You can imagine if there's a mother who's trying to feed her family, where does she have time to split 50 shillings, which she can use to feed her family and pads?
In the year 2004, Kenya repealed added tax on sanitary pads and tampons. But access to high-quality menstrual hygiene remains a challenge, particularly for low-income women and girls. In 2011, the government began setting aside funds to distribute free sanitary towels to teenage girls in schools, first allocating 200 million shillings. And 10 years later, the budgetary allocation has only doubled to 470 million shillings, which underlines the problem Kenya has when it comes to implementation of adopted policies.
We have very good policy implementation. Again, it's not seen as a priority. So in all this, what I'm saying is, if we cared enough, we would see solutions. But there is an element that in order of priorities, menstrual health or the sexual reproductive health and rights is seen down there. And third, it's taboo. When you talk about periods and talk about sex education, in our culture, you don't talk about such things.
If the government and the Kenyan society cared enough about our girls, then the conversation around period poverty and sex education would be different.
It's very uncomfortable to hear teenagers are having sex. Everybody just gets a bit uncomfortable. But guess what? They're having sex. So the more we try to blame each other, I remember the church was blaming parents, and the parents were blaming the school. And in all this, teens are still having unprotected sex.
The matter of teenage pregnancies continues to be a thorn in the flesh of the Kenyan society, more so the education sector. Is it well equipped to embrace these young mothers back to the classrooms to allow them to pursue their dreams and live up to their full potential? Fred Kagonye, KTN News.